Okay, so today we're going to be doing a review of the Wanjinli kitchen faucet to replace the faucet in my kitchen sink. And this can be purchased on Amazon. We purchased it for $105 with taxes. And this is a highly reviewed, rated kitchen faucet found on Amazon, but unfortunately I couldn't find any reviews anywhere else on YouTube or anything like that. So I figured we'd go ahead and do an unboxing and a review. Now this faucet does have a lot of cool features, and some of the same features that you find on a Moen or a Delta water faucet, but for a whole lot less money. So the first thing that catches my attention on this package is the wording that's here. It says, "Sweet intelligence, concise but not simple, and the utmost enjoyment taste." I wonder if you can read that. That is a very interesting sentence. So clearly this is not made in the United States or by any English-speaking country. Also, that can be identified by the fact that it's called Wanjinli. But anyway, that's very funny, I think. So, moving on. So that's my 4-year-old daughter, Adeline. Adeline, say hi.
Hi.
So we'll go ahead and open this up. See what's inside. Alright, so we have a user manual. We'll get to that later. We have the faucet with the pull-out head, the sprayer head. There is a weight that will be attached to that. And here we have our valve. We have 2 cables that connect to the hot and the cold water. And then here we have the electronic portion so that the touch feature will be activated. So we'll install that as well. And so this, coming from the faucet, will be attached to this, which would then these two be attached as well to the hot and the cold. And there's no indication here, looking for red and blue, no indication which one is for hot or cold, so I'm guessing that it could go to either. And then the tools that we'll need for this, I brought the basin wrench right here, which will help me get access behind the sink basin. I'm sure it will be difficult otherwise, and I just brought this with me right here, just in case that's necessary. But other than that, really shouldn't need a whole lot of tools for this installation. So we'll get to that part. Alright, so now it's time to uninstall the current faucet that we have. And so what we're going to need to do is go down underneath, and I already have it cleaned out. And we're going to wind up first shutting off the water to the hot and the cold. And then we're going to disconnect the hot and cold right there. And then once we've done that, we will disconnect that one right there, which is for the pull-out portion of the faucet. And once all that is done, then we will be able to take that nut out and then remove the entire faucet. Alright, so go ahead and get ready. I'm going to get some rags and a bucket, just in case there's any water that is spilled in here. Alright, so now I have some rags in there, and I've got a little pan just in case any water spills out. There really shouldn't be much water, but it's very simple to turn the water off. Right now the valves are in the flow position, so just turn them. And now they should both be in the off position. So what we're going to do now is just turn the faucet on, let it drain anything out, and there's nothing in the line. So clearly there's no water in the line right now, so it's good to proceed. Alright, so I used an adjustable wrench and got in there and loosened them to the point now where they're just very tight and came loose, and notice no water came out, which is great. So now do the cold. A little bit of water coming out there. have the pan. Alright, so that's good. Now to loosen that bolt right there, and then we can take the faucet out. So the most difficult part of this so far has been getting to this nut right here. Now I did have to use that basin wrench to get it in there, but even with the basin wrench it was a pain, but I did get it loose. I'm not able to record that. Just because I needed both hands. So I'll just twist that all the way off. Bring it down to the pipes, through the wires, and I should be able to pull it out next. Alright. Alright, so now that we have everything taken out, this should just come right out. And there she is. Now we're ready to put the new one in after I clean that up a little bit. Alright, so as we get to install the new one, the first thing is there was a little zip tie here that had cut off, and it had two little rubber gasket O-rings. Put them off to the side. And then the next thing you need to do is you're going to need to untwist all this, take this entire assembly off. So this is it installed. See the battery pack? Just drill a hole in the wall and install that. Connect the supply lines as such. Put the weight ball on the pole. Plug the battery pack in to that right there. The most difficult portion was putting those pieces in and getting it screwed down tight. And this is the final installation here. And the touch is kind of sensitive, just a light touch. We'll turn it on. That's the spray. And one of the things that I really like about this is there was no flow reducer in this model. And so it's coming out, it says at 2.2 gallons per minute. And a lot of the other ones that you're going to find are going to come out at about 1.5 gallons per minute. And so just touch and touch off. I also like that if you have the sprayer on, that's a pretty good amount of flow. There's also a pause button you can push, so if you're wanting to go over to do a pan or something, but you don't want to get the kitchen wet everywhere, you just push pause, move it to where you want. And you don't have to use the touch. Of course, you've got the lever right there. The one thing I would criticize is that there's no indication for hot and cold underneath, so it's kind of a 50-50 shot. In the forward position right there is hot for me, and then that's cold, warm. And another thing I noticed about the touch is if your fingers are wet, as mine are, it's a little bit less sensitive. So anyway, it seems like a good faucet for the money, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.